Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. I am not really Harvey's pastor, but I'm kind of more than that. I'm just friend. I've been Harvey's friend for 30 years, and his family's parents as well, and the rest of the family. And so I was honored when they asked me to participate in Harvey's service remembrance, and glad to do it. Thank you. And actually, tonight's service is not so much about me as it is about you, because we'd like for you to be able to share some memories tonight. And so we're going to open the mic here in a little while, and whoever would like to share, we'll give you a mic, an opportunity to share. And then around 8 o'clock or so, or around before then, we'll dismiss. But a couple other announcements. First of all, back on the table, there's this little sheet of paper that's called the 2023 college football goal profile sheet that you fill out. I filled mine out today, you know. And so with that in mind, I realized at memorial services, the funerals, supposed to shut the phones off. So if you are checking the football score, South Dakota State Clinic, just have it on you. You can check it, you can check the game. So that'll be fine. Just have it to you so it's not making much noise. And then for some reason, ESPN scheduled a bowl game tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And I don't know why they did that. But so tomorrow, again, if you have your phone and you have to check the score, that's fine. And if you do, let me know how Georgia's Southern is. Okay. So with that in mind, let's have a word. Heavenly Father, we're grateful for a chance to spend many decades being a friend of Harvey and his family. And we're so grateful to know that he loved you and he served you, and that he's with you today. And our hearts are glad for him who is kind of sad now. So I pray that in service tonight and in service tomorrow, we will share about his life and some good memories and fun memories, and find healing in this first family and this way. And for this community that's lost a great need. So just bless the service tonight, and everything goes on this weekend. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
He would be so happy that Ron started this on time. He wasn't a patient man, he was a prompt man, and if it meant starting at 7 o'clock, that means everybody should be ready at least a quarter till or close to that. So if he could have picked what I would sing, he'd probably just tell me to do the national anthem or the Naasz song. But instead, I just picked a song about time. So it's short and sweet, and I hope it means something to you. Just like in the little cheerleaders, we're going to perform at halftime and the music doesn't go and then I'm angry.
do now is we've got some rows of chairs that are available here. And we've got people on the sides, and if you would like to share a memory about Harvey, if you're up close already, that's fine. But if you're on the side bleachers, if you come sit up there at this time, so we can kind of wish you move as smoothly as possible. So let's go ahead and do that. And we share, and for some back we're going to talk about, hopefully it's going to some of your share, it's going to be a real short service tonight. But use the mic, because this is being live streamed on the Warriors Live, and talk into the mic so that everyone can hear you here and online as well.
I'll just use this. Family asked me to go ahead and start this. No one else would. They know I'm not afraid to speak. So here I'm Betsy Watzel, class of 1988 from Moyer High School. Of course, I had Harvey as my teacher, but not only that, I had Harvey by my side all through high school because my locker was like 5 feet from his room. So I always had the privilege of speaking to Harvey every day, no matter what, and just love that guy. I mean, the stories he could tell, we could talk for hours on end, and when I chose to go to Northern State, I thought it was pretty cool because all his sons were either had gone through Northern or were at Northern, so whenever I came home on weekends and he saw me, he was always asking me about how everything was in Aberdeen, especially the one time when he was at the I-8 Winter Games, and he saw how much fun I was having there, and he couldn't wait to tell me that when he saw me the next weekend here at the basketball game. So anyway, I'm going to miss Harvey. Got the privilege to sit with him, buy him at football games up here on the hill, working for Warriors Live. It was always fun to listen to. He always was coaching. We always saved the spot for Harvey, no matter what, whenever he got there. And going to miss him, but we know he's going to be there in spirit all the time. Another reason I came down is my classmate Ron Bartles could not be here this weekend, and he wrote up a little deal about Harvey, and he asked if I would read this, and so I'm going to read this on behalf of Ron Bartles. It says, hello. First of all, it says, he started this. Hello, my name is Ron Bartles. I am a Winter Warrior football fan and was a member of Harvey's undefeated 1987 state championship team. For those who have never heard of Ron, he doesn't have a hard time expressing himself. He says he remembers growing up as a little boy in Winter, South Dakota, and living for fall Friday nights and Winter Warrior football. He started this. I remember getting to the game early enough to see the visiting team get off their bus, with a thought in the back of their minds, this probably isn't going to go good for us. He started this. Then shortly thereafter, hearing the roar of a yellow bus coming into the parking lot, and what sounded like 1,000 men ready to go into battle. He started this. Watching these, what looked to me as larger-than-life gladiators get off that bus with all this aggression and passion, real-life warriors, inside these purple and gold suits of armor, topped with a beautiful, shiny gold helmet that seemed to make these young men almost heroic to me. He started this. The roar of the crowd, the pop of the pads when Harvey's offensive line imposed their will on the opponent, the crunch of the helmets when his linebackers literally ran through the opposing ball carriers, the sweet taste of victory, the beating pride of a Winter resident when someone talked about Winter Warrior football. He started this. All of the legends, the Kyle Wagners, the Jack Sharkies, the Brad Headlands, the Naasz boys, the Novotnys, the Dean Wagners, the John DeMerzes, the Bruce Dodgers, the Sugars, Scott Skylers, the Hitman, Joey Rosigs, and all the other studs that are too numerous to mention. They laid the groundwork for all those state titles, state runner-ups, and the Friday night butt whoopings that are known through South Dakota as Winter Warrior football. Harvey Naasz started all of this. He had help, he had good assistance all along the way, but he was the true leader. He built this program on the foundation of what makes teams great. Great blocking, solid tackling, hard running, and mental toughness. If one didn't possess this when they showed up for 2 days as a sophomore, they surely had it by the time they were a senior. Harvey Naasz started all of this. Coach Naasz, on behalf of the fine young men you molded and impacted through the love of the game of football, thank you. You truly are Winter Warrior football. Ron Bartles, class of 1988.
Hey, someone else. You share. I'm going to share what something. Like I said, if you want to come closer, so the easier time.
I didn't really plan on doing this, and so usually I have notes and I prepare this, but I didn't do this. So forgive me. Harvey was really special to me. I got the privilege of taking care of him for the last 2 years. But he always wasn't that special to me. I mean, he was, but I remember like this draft thing, and Trent, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, that the kids were kind of busy and we were doing supper, and Trent was literally like 90 seconds late for the draft. And he didn't get to be into it that year. So that was kind of our first, well, not our first, but one of our experiences with Harvey. But then there's so many things I want to say, and I'm sorry I didn't write this down, but my kids would come home from practice and be like, why was Harvey? Why was Harvey at practice today? He mowed the lawn yesterday. Well, he just wanted to check up and see what was going on and watch practice. He would ask Trent, he wanted an inch and a quarter, inch and 3/4, and Trent would say, well, you know best, Harvey, do it how you think. But then, I guess, how I really got close to him was taking care of him. And half of our visit would be, how you feeling, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And the other half would be, well, how's the football team doing? What's coach say? And so I tweaked him back a half a dozen times, and I wish I could one more time, but Harvey didn't want to die, but he didn't want to live this way either. And God bless you, Harvey.
Good evening. My name is Russ Harder, class of 1980, Winter High School. I had the privilege of knowing Coach Naasz since I was about 8 years old. I had the opportunity with Jeff Gustafson and some of my other friends, and got to grow up in his basement a lot of times. I said earlier that I felt sorry for Karen, having to deal with some of us, with not only her three kids, but the rest of us. It was kind of a neighborhood hangout. But the most important thing Coach meant to me was that he was a coach. He was there for me whenever I needed him. And he had the faith in me to hand over the reins of his program to see if we could continue. Every philosophy that I had one of those days forward was grounded in what Coach Naasz gave me. I was just telling Jeff earlier, I said, remember the first time we were playing Stanley County, he walked up to me and handed me his play sheet and just walked off. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, so he gave us the faith, he believed in people, he believed in people when maybe sometimes nobody else did. And as I said, I can't thank Karen enough for being that second mom we had growing up too. So I will miss him. The chance I got to talk to him, we sat down and we did talk some football. That was automatic. Fortunately, he's got great relationships with his kids, and I will never forget him and what he did for me. I'm sure they go through every other winter high school athlete.
I need a little higher than the rest of it. You know, Don Newton said, a good coach can change the game. A great coach can change people's lives. Coach was a great coach. He influenced a lot of people's lives. And I sit back there and thinking, I don't know if I should do this, but if you played for Coach Naasz, you just stand. I'd like to see how many people. I know there's a bunch of people that play for Coach Naasz. I know there's a bunch of them. That's great, thank you. I mean, you look and see there's a lot of people here from a lot of generations, a lot of years that are here out of respect for Coach Naasz. I was thinking of some stories as I was coming down here, and like Russ said, we grew up and hung out a lot in the Naasz household. And one thing you knew, our bedroom was right above where we watched TV, where we watched TV in the basement. And if you got a little rough house and whatever, pretty soon you can hear it. Knock it off! And usually it was Bart starting. And you never wanted coach's approval. And you wanted this, you didn't want to get on the bad side of coaching. And one story that I remember our senior year, and I shared that with Bart, that I remember, this was 40-some years ago, it's still like yesterday. We were in a tight game against Ainsworth. It shouldn't have been a tight game, 6-0. And we ran a reverse play, and I'm ready to block, and just launched myself at this guy, and he turned his back, back ran the other way. And I get flagged for blocking him back. And he went for a pretty good game. And marching back, I hear it on the sideline. It's like pin drop. I'm sure it was loud, but all of a sudden I hear, who's around? Who's around? No. 82. Good. Out I come, but he loved me no matter what. You know, you didn't want to disappoint him. He was such a great person. He did a lot of things for me as a kid. I can name a few that I remember him giving me a basketball. He knew I liked basketball probably better than football. I was definitely not as good at football players as that, but I remember him giving me a basketball for the summer. Here, use this. It meant a lot to me. He just knew what to do, and I appreciate him. There's one other story about it. Anyway, I want to thank you, Karen, Water Department, and Brad for sharing this. We are so much better than these guys. If anybody cross paths with them are better people because of them. And I got to spend this fall working during a football game where I live now, and we play winter for winter's home and their smallest. But I got to spend 3 quarters sitting up on the hill, sitting with Harvey and Brian, and talking about football, talking about the game, and hearing stories again. And I remember one who told me that was on a punt, and I think he got mocked a little bit. And he turns to me, "Plus, you remember what our punt return was?" I kind of looked at him, "No." "Get away from it! Get away from it!" He didn't want you to touch it. He just soon did it to the office and let us run 3 yards on the podcast. But yeah, great. And I cherish that time I got to spend in this spot. But we'll definitely miss it.
Some others can share. I'm going to share my story like you feels familiar. Of course, I started substitute teaching at high school maybe 30 years ago. And in the midst of all of that, a coaching job came open in the middle school for 7th grade, which I coached for a few years and then took some time off and then coached 8th grade. So for a total of 16 years, I was coaching middle school. But early on, there was an opening for a 9th grade girls coach. And I don't know if I applied, if they asked me to coach. And of course, that's really new to me. I had sons only and girls, so it was interesting. But I had a really good group of girls and we had a really good team. But one night we were playing Peter, and I remember Harvey came up here. We were playing Peter, and the JV varsity game would follow. But I had so many girls on my team that we were going to have an A and a B 9th grade game. And so before the game started, Harvey called the officials over and had me come over, and we were in a semicircle, and he said, "None of you are going to get paid, because these games went overtime." And it reminded me, Sharon, when we talked about autonomy. He said, "None of you are going to get paid, the game went over." They both went into overtime. But we didn't get paid, so we went. But it's kind of my favorite hockey memory. Any others like to share?
Good evening, my name is Steve Sharon. And since Jill's up and down this line, just looking around this arena. I coached here in the 70s. I think the first people I met when I got here were Harvey and Karen. And, as a young coach and a young teacher, I was on the same staff as Harvey, so we taught history together. And over the years since I've been gone, I thought a lot about what happened to me in the winter that what I became. A lot of it. I like Harvey. Think about Harvey a lot. I always will. He was a great coach. Man, was he a great coach. I love being around him. In fact, that first championship, I was sitting beside Karen, and she said, "Nobody knows it, Steve, but the first play is going to be a pass for a touchdown." Harvey said, "Don't tell anybody, but I know that I can tell you." Sure enough, first play, touchdown. So that's how close we were. We had 2 little girls when we were here, and of course the 3 Naasz boys were like their big brothers. And so spent a lot of time with them, and they were in their weddings. And of course, the girls brought them to all of our weddings. And we had a lot of fun. And I think so often about Harvey, what I learned that I didn't realize I learned until I left. You know, his competitiveness, his preparedness. And what I really loved about him, there was nobody going to beat the Winter Warriors. Every single year, the Winter Warriors took on the big guys. At least one time. Let's go. And you guys that are here that are football players, you always respond. That's pretty special. That's pretty special. We're honored a very special guy. And I'm going to leave you with just one story that happened. And Brian said it was Harvey's favorite story about him and I. And I guess maybe it probably was. Harvey and I spent a little time on Saturdays going down to the local VFW and talking about our teams and what we were going to do in the future. He kind of advised me to run a wrestling team. I never advised him on his football team. But we did end up refereeing together after his career was over. And so my wife, we had these two little girls, and my wife ordered a swing set. Well, I don't know if you ever see what a swing set comes in about 50 years ago, but it was just a long box, about 16 foot long and about this big around. And I opened it, I looked at it, and I said, Harvey, what do you think? He says, I think we're in trouble. I says, I do too, let's go to the VFW. We got back about 3 hours later. Karen and Sheila were smiling. They come in the backyard, swing sets together. They put it together when we went to the VFW. That was one of Harvey's favorite stories. Thank you.
Someone else like to share?
And I said, I worked in Winter for 50 years this year, and I have the privilege not only of having workshops and teach at the school, but also of working in Winter for many years. And I have so many stories of our girls, and who did as a coach for these girls. But when they were little, they would sell things out in love. So sometimes unbeknownst to me, they were out in the garden and Harvey bought everything that they sold. They sold rocks, they sold lemonade, they sold sticks, and Harvey came with every time and got something for us. And what a great guy he was. That my story almost more about him. I always his stories. Always. So I know this girl baby, she was a baby. And Harvey was out in the yard, and she's in the yard right now. I suppose she's maybe 4, and she hollers across the streets. Help, Harvey! Not more fun than you guys. But that's the respect we have as adults that need to be allowed to use all these instruments. And
Someone else want to share?
I really liked lesson my junior year at
Renner High School in history class. You never, ever, ever come to class wearing a Great Blue Gorilla jersey. Done.
Either the shores and the top. Okay, someone else. You know, sometimes we do forget that you work as a teacher as well as a coach. I mean, you influence more people as a teacher than you do as a coach.
Well, the first time I remember meeting Mr. Naasz, I was 10 years old. My Uncle Jack Skyler, I'm Scott Skyler. My Uncle Jack owned the A&W and I believe all the Naasz boys worked there, and I knew them from the time I was a little kid. But one day, I think it was shortly after my grandfather died, we were there, and I was in my old shoes, and for whatever reason, Harvey and Jack, they were heading to, I don't remember where, but they were repping basketball together. So I was invited to go along with them, and I agree Harvey was an unbelievable coach, but I found out shortly he wasn't a very good referee. They put me in the stands that night, but like I said, I was 9, 10 years old. And Harvey and Jack, they got called every game in the book that night, I believe. And I'm sitting there, farm kid, and hadn't been to any major big winter sporting events, but I remember going down at halftime, and Harvey said, "Are they saying stuff about us, Scott?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What are they saying?" And I couldn't even repeat what they were saying, because it wasn't good. But I just remember listening to all the stories on the way home. Hadn't been to any basketball games, and Bart's name came up, and I remember Harvey saying, "Yeah, he stuck this kid in a basketball game." I don't know if that's true or not, Bart, but I think I heard that story when I was like 10, and I was just amazed that those things were really happening. But basically, just want to say Harvey was a great guy, loved him, loved his family, and he cherished a lot of different memories forever.
Some have a hard time knowing the difference between football and basketball. And so they bring the football skills to the basketball court. The parent, Harvey, of course.
I'm Trish Sweetman, class of '94, Winter High School. I have a lot of stories about Harvey. Could go on forever about it. He would be happy to have Josh Heupel jersey on the day, and that'd be the only reason he'd be happy to have Sooner jersey on. But not only Harvey as a football coach, but Savannah, one of my daughters, she's been a clean Karen in Harvey, and she just loved it. Harvey would take her to the side. He'd look around like a little kid. He'd say, "Savannah, don't tell Karen, here's an extra $10. And he'd do it every time. He'd tip her, and he just looked out for Savannah. I know Savannah, Harvey went a lot to Savannah, developed Olivia, and we fought for our family. But I had Harvey as a freshman coach. He had retired from high school. So he was a freshman coach when I was a freshman. We were just little pups and skinny and 120 pounds. And I remember he grabbed me one day after practice and said, "Swidlin, before you're done, you're going to be saying, 'I write 46-power pass in your sleep.'" And I'm going to hear that tonight. I write a 46-power pass.
Thank you, Trish. Anyone else like to share?
coming tonight. And I said to Harvey one time, I know, maybe you shouldn't be coaching kids. Because he would criticize what some of the coaches did. And I said, maybe you should be teaching coaches. He said, no. I want to be with those kids. Thank you, girl. Be his kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. Well, at this time, would you stand with me? We're going to go ahead and dismiss our service. Unless there's someone else wants to share with us. Okay, yes. Go ahead, be seated, please. If there's anybody else who will run your story, sit up here and we'll give you time.
Aaron Collins and Guy and Toby both played for football team, and your kid, Guy was the smallest kid on his class, and they were playing out of Todd County, and well, Guy didn't get to catch, but he went in with the head of Todd County for a reason. He run Guy 3 times until he scored a touchdown, and then my son Toby was ready to go into senior year, and he got killed with lightning, and already retired as number.
Anyone else? Would you stand with me and join with me in the Lord? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you for coming. You can stay and visit as long as you like. We'll be back here again tomorrow